Overriding example we will see, but before that, let's do one experiment, one more experiment. These two functions are same. Private void area, it will accept two parameters, integer and integer. Private void area, it will accept two parameters, integer and integer. Fine. Can I have one return type as integer? Will it will be different? Now it should be different, right? Okay, let me write it here also. I'll say when you are saying return means you are putting some other than the void data type, you have to put, particular return type then. Okay, it returns result area. Okay, now this both should be different, right? Because one area is there of method which returns something integer, and this area doesn't return anything, it is void. So both should be different and should be considered in overloading. But no, it doesn't work like that. Okay, it doesn't work like that. Why? Because Java is more concerned about what method name you are giving and how many parameters you are passing. So they say that, okay, both function name is fine, we are okay with that. But the thing is, duplicate method you are giving with the same number of parameter, same type of parameter, they will have confusion then. It's like this. It's like having two shop, right? Having two shops which sells two item, let's say two type of item, but one shop delivers, do home delivery. This shop does home delivery, right? And this shop doesn't do any home delivery, right? It's like this. There is no return type here. Okay. But it is not allowed. Why? Because there is a confusion. If both the shop does the same thing, like selling the things, right? So we will not identify the things by whether they have return type or whether they do home delivery or not. We don't care. Java doesn't allow this. So both are, means it's different. You may think that it's different, that it returns and it doesn't return it. So it should be considered as overloading with the same function name, but it is not allowed. Okay. It Java, when you call line number seven, it has a confusion. Okay. It doesn't, what we say, care whether you return something or not. This is function call. Return, it's like you can catch it. So you can say integer p is equals to something. That's fine. Whether you want to catch it or you don't want to catch it, that they doesn't care. Even if you will not catch it, it's fine. You may have return. Whether you are catching it or not in a variable, it's fine. They don't care. The problem here is Java is not allowing us to have the same function name with same type of parameter and same sequence of parameter, right? So that's why, let me delete this. We will not allow this. If you'll put some other function name, that it's fine, but same function name, it will not allow. Coming back to the last point, both the method must have the same number of parameter with the same type. Let's understand in method overriding, they are saying the two method which has the same name should have same number of parameters also. Then only we will say it is overriding, and with the same type also, then only we'll say it's a overriding. So what, let's take example. We have phone class, and it has a function sound. Okay. And let's say we'll create one more function, public call disconnect. Okay. And here we will pass int phone number. Which number you want to disconnect? Something like this. Okay. PHNO. The number which you want to disconnect. Okay. Something like that. And here we'll say system.out.println. And here we'll say disconnect or delete, whatever. It's just a function name. Disconnect this PHNO. Fine. Okay. Okay, what is the problem here? They are saying that you cannot write function like this. You should have some kind of return type. So I'm saying void. Fine. So call disconnect is a function um, which accepts one variable. Okay. In the child class, which is a smartphone, which extends this phone class, let's create the same function. So I'll copy it. I'll copy this. To implement overriding, we have the same function name, but this time let's assume like this, right? And I'll delete this. Just disconnect. So I'll say disconnect. Okay? Something like this. So will it be called? And let me call it also. So we'll say s1 dot call disconnect. Showing you again, and let me show it actually in this window. Okay. And observe here, phone class has a function called disconnect. Smartphone has a function called disconnect. Is it overriding concept? Will we say it is overriding? No. We will not say it's a overriding. Why? Because what overriding says that you may have same function name. This call disconnect is the function or the method here for this class. This call disconnect is the method which is there in a smartphone, but this will not be called overriding. Overriding means you want to define the things in your own new way. Okay. You want to define the things on your own new way. Okay. This is not overriding. If you want to override, basically you should have again here in, okay, let's first understand that it is not going to create any confusion, right? When you are saying smartphone S1 is equals to new smartphone, and at line number 10, you are calling call disconnect. So at runtime, it knows that it has to call this. It knows that it has to call this function, not the its parents function. See here, it's printing disconnected. Okay. Now, let me close this. Now, if you want to actually implement overriding here, you should basically put here also integer. Integer, let's say x. And you should say disconnect x plus x, I am saying here. Okay. Now, you cannot call this call disconnect. You have to pass some value, right? So I was saying, let's say 9988, something like that. I'm passing. Now, if I'll run, if I will run this, it will say disconnect 99, but 9988. Okay. It is showing me disconnect 9988. Okay. It is showing me. There is no confusion. The thing is, when you call disconnect, first it will check whether this method is present in its own class or not. If in its own class there is a function which accepts integer, so it will call this. If it will say, okay, there is no call disconnect available in my class, so it will go to its parent and it will call this particular function. Okay, it's like this. Fine. So to have the overriding, you should have same type of parameter. Now, can I do one thing? This will be int and it will return. Let's say we will return something here. Don't worry about what we are returning. We'll say return 0 as of now, just to retain an integer. And this particular thing is not returning anything. So it is showing me error. It's saying that if I hover it, the return type is incompatible with phone.call disconnect. Let's understand. This is very important. What it is saying, hey, you are overriding a function which is present in your parent. You want to implement on your own way. That's fine. We allow you to do that. But in your parent, it has a return type. And in your child, you cannot have like without return type, you cannot define it. It's like this. Either you make this integer or you make this as void. Both should be same. So exact signature is required if you are implementing overriding. Okay. So here also it should be integer. Here also it should be int or change the parent. Generally, we should not change the parent. I'm saying generally, we should not try to change the parent, right? It's like you change on your own. Right? So what I was saying, if your parent, let's assume that in your parent class, your shop, let's say this is a shop function, which was doing home delivery, So continue that. If you want to implement your own shop, you want to do a lot of things with the new shop which you have created with the same name. It's fine. It is inherited to you. I'm giving you the real life example. Let's say your parent or ancestor has a shop and it was doing a lot of things with that. And there was a home delivery mechanism, right? Now you got this because it is delivered to you as a legacy. Now you want to see here, you extends phone. That means you have the property of your parent. Okay, you have the same property, but then you want to implement that in your own way. That means you want to add more things. So you will say here system.out.println new lights, new type of lights you want to implement, new type of things you want to implement in your new shop. That's fine. Absolutely allowed. Whatever you want to do within your shop, allowed. But your parent or your ancestor was doing for your shop, home delivery was available. But then you are saying, I want to stop the home delivery. So it is not allowed. You have to make it here also int, and you have to return whatever you want to return. As of now, I'm saying return 0, but it should be integer. So what it is saying, no, if you are implementing it, you have to have same signature. This is called a function signature. Fine, signature. Whatever you want to do extra thing within that, it's fine. But don't disturb the basic thing that our function name was this. We accept one integer and we have a return type. Okay. Keep it same. Rest of the things, whatever you want to do it. We don't have anything. So for example, here we just have one line of code, 25th line. Here, when you are implementing it again in child class, you have 2 lines of code or multiple things you want to do. It's fine. You do it. Okay. But return type should be same if there was a return type at parent. Okay. So this is all about overriding and the different ways how you can explain it to someone.